Welcome to Issued for Construction. I'm your host, Jonathan Jacobs, and today I've got with me a woman who has been in the interior design business for a couple of years. She has work that is international. She has worked internationally prior to running her studio. She has won quite a number of awards. You can find those all in the liner notes because the list is extensive. She mainly works in residential, and in the short time we've come to know each other, we found that this might be an episode where there might be some expletives. Today I've got with me...
I think we can promise that.
Colette Van den Thillart. How'd I do?
So great.
Excellent.
And, it's so good to be here. I'm already having a ball.
Well, thanks for joining. Colette, as I said already, she runs a highly successful design studio. If you don't know it, you might have been sleeping under a rock, but that's okay. We're here to turn the rock over. So I start off by asking everyone about where were you born? What was life like early in your life? Tell anyone listening about you. Where was it and what was it?
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, it's not that thrilling. I'm born here. I was actually born in Orangeville.
In Orangeville, okay.
Yes, which I left when I was 3, but
by yourself?
All by myself. Yeah, been on the road ever since. So I grew up though really in Mississauga.
Okay.
In the burbs.
And how was it?
It was totally great. I think, do you know that Arcade Fire song?
Yeah.
I think it's called Suburbs.
Yeah.
Like that was my life. On the bikes, morning till night, freedom, safety, loads of friends. I don't know. I thought it was great.
That's the same childhood. It's not a childhood that really exists nowadays.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
That kind of freedom, certainly not.
No. I feel like parents have tracking beacons in the neck of their kids.
Yeah.
I actually just know a family that put one in their dog because they're going to be moving. They want to know the dog's
sure.
in the plane.
And I get it. It's a different...
If you're enjoying this, do me a favor and leave the show a 5-star review. It genuinely helps more people find these conversations. And come find us on Instagram, where we're showcasing the work of people we sit down with, including Colette's. Later in this conversation, Colette talks about the room she designed for herself as a child. Grass, green, shag carpet, daisy wallpaper, yellow curtains, a space she built entirely around how she wanted to feel walking into it. That same instinct, thinking about atmosphere before anything else, is something Kaplan's Appliances understands too, just applied to the kitchen and beyond. Kaplan's carries an incredible range of top-name appliance brands: Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Thermador, Genair, La Cornue for anyone dreaming of a French range as a centerpiece, and Fisher & Paykel and more, along with options built for outdoor kitchens too. So whether the project is indoors or out, it is all under one roof. But what actually sets Kaplan's apart goes beyond the showroom floor. For years, they have run a masterclass series that brings together the industry, designers, architects, and other industry professionals, not just to sell product, but to build real connections across the trade. It is the kind of thing that helps people establish a network, and a network is what ends up supporting a business for years to come. And Kaplan's thinks long-term about their clients too. They aim to be the one-stop shop from the moment you walk in to the moment you need service down the line. 5 years later, 10 years later, 20 or 30 years later, they want to be there for your next appliance and eventually the next generation of your family too. That is the kind of relationship Kaplan's is built on. If you want to learn more, head to the liner notes or email me directly for an introduction. It's Jonathan, Jonathan, at issuedforconstruction.ca. Now, back to Colette.
So, I mean, what was it like in terms of like the overall community that you were in? Was it an eclectic community? Did the kids have different interests? Did you find that you were driving the bus on some of the interests in the neighborhood? What was it like?
I mean, I really loved my high school. I went to Arundel.
Okay.
It was definitely a melting pot, and we had like in the cafeteria, we had, the sections. We had like the rockers and the preps and the band dorks and the whatever, all the different cliques.
Have you seen the show Geeks and Freaks?
No.
Oh, Judd Apatow is like one of his first shows that he ever wrote. It was only one season.
I heard about it.
It is so fantastic because it's a description of what you described now.
Really?
It's the character developments. It's perfect. Anyhow, sorry.
Right. Well, I mean,
digress.
I have sort of seen these archetypes in a lot of movies, but I lived it, and for some reason I feel like maybe it's because I'm a Sag, but even when I was in it, I thought I could always sort of see my life a little bit from outside, and I was like, this is a pretty cool high school, and I kind of dabbled. I was a heavy metal girl, but I really dabbled in. My friends were preppy.
You can't move past that.
No, I was.
What were we listening to?
Oh my God. I like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, all that stuff.
Okay.
Loved it.
Would you throw Led Zeppelin into that mix?
I mean, are you kidding? I had the silk flag of Robert Plant up on my bedroom wall.
Okay.
Of course.
I was just talking to my uncle this past weekend who did A&R at Warner for years.
Okay.
And he helped like set up that final.
I went to that final concert in London.
You were at that concert? 2007?
Uh-huh.
How?
Cried like a baby.
How did you get there?
Well, I was living in London.
But there was like millions of people that registered for those tickets. How did you get those tickets?
Well, truthfully, through a friend.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You had a contact to be able to get the tickets?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And like, I was in such a different, time in my life and place in my life. And probably like such a
it's 20 years ago.
But that said, it was like, and I haven't been to concerts in, decades, but it was like, this I have to go to.
I mean, why would you want to go to anything else after going to that? I'd be like, okay, that's enough. I've seen it.
It was pretty magic.
I watch clips of that all the time.
Right.
Sorry, yet again, here I go. It's me doing it. I apologize. So you were saying in high school, this is who you were. You were the rock girl.
I was the rock girl, but my friends were the preppies.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of cross pollination.
Yep.
So that's what was nice about this school. Like it was cliquey, but it wasn't overly bitchy.
Okay.
And I was pretty much an arts kid. And I had sort of two pivotal teachers. One was my art teacher, Miss Thelma Rock Tipping, who was British and loathed me, and tried to get me to drop out of art.
By pushing you too hard?
No, by just literally telling me I should drop out.
Oh.
To my face.
Well, that's lovely.
And then I had another teacher, my home ec teacher, who just adored me. And so sort of like between those two, between me just being a stubborn bitch, thinking I'll show this fucking rock tipping, and then having this other teacher who was so encouraging.
Mm-hmm. There was a balance.
There was a balance, and it was really like that home ec teacher who was like, you should really go into interior design. Like I actually decided in high school.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And did you have any foundational knowledge of that prior to it? Like what did your parents do? My
mother was a piano teacher and my father was an executive.
Okay.
Yeah. I will say though that my mother and her friend Edith were sort of very stylish and redecorated the house quite a bit.
Okay.
So there was like the first iteration of our house was sort of Billy Baldwin. So it was like chocolate brown walls, white shag carpet, orange mohair sofa. And then, and
did you appreciate this at the time?
Oh my God, 100%.
Oh, you did?
Actually, because it goes a little bit earlier than that. I mean, I don't know how old I was, but I'm going to say my sister and I shared a room. And at some point, my sister was like, can you get this kid out of my room? Because I'm going to kill her. So
she was older than you.
She's older than me, 2 years older than me. Toy room is like, okay, fine. We're going to set that room up now for Colette. So I'm 6 or 7.
Okay.
It's time to branch out on my own. For some weird reason, my mother is like really into getting me involved in this project.
Okay.
So I come up with the idea that I want grass green shag carpet, wallpaper that looks like a field of daisies, and yellow curtains on my window so that it's going to look like eternal sunshine. So she executed this.
She did.
Yes.
She fulfilled this vision of the 67-year-old.
Uh-huh. Isn't that bizarre?
Credit to your mom.
I know. Anyway, I just thought it was a triumph. I mean, you couldn't be sat in this room to save your life. You know, you've got the eternal sunshine streaming through the windows. You're in a field of daisies sitting on a patch of grass. Like, my world was already delicious.
Yeah.
And I instinctively knew that this is like this is what matters. This is what's going to get you up in the day. And having a room of one's own is really the greatest gift anyone can ever give themselves.
Yeah, you can have 4 walls
Yeah.
that are yours in this world.
Yep.
You're fortunate, and man, if you can decorate it, even better. Even better.
Yeah.
So, do you have any recollection of some of the pastimes of, like, you know, whether whether you're building forts in that room with your sister, or
I was
or
super crafty. No,
lying on the ground on the
I'm an
grass?
anomaly because I guess that's earlier, but yeah, I was a bookworm for sure, and I was like a craft kid.
Okay.
So I'm either, I don't know, I'm with I can't remember what were those TV shows called, but like, you know, they would do the crafts on the TV show. I was actually the dork who would go and get my construction paper.
Was it not Lamb Chops Play Along? Like, that's different, right? I don't,
No, I'm thinking, I don't know, it might be Mr. Dress Up, or there was certainly Tickle Trunk was like.
Yeah, there was also with Sam. What was that show? Sam was the puppet, and the guy was the mannequin that came alive.
Yeah, that's ringing a bell.
I can't. Oh my goodness!
But I'm just going to say that on some of them there was often, maybe even Mr. Dress Up. No, what was the one? What was the sweet man who was the priest in real life? I think.
I don't know.
Maybe that is Mr. Dress Up. Doesn't matter. No, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Yeah, Mr. Rogers. I think he might have done craft time occasionally.
Yes, he definitely.
Anyway,
did.
I was really into that. So anything.
I like that we got there.
I was just a very busy kid, very capable of entertaining myself. I was probably the dreamer, the craft maker. I was off and away. And
did you have a close relationship with both your parents?
I mean, you know, it's that generation. I don't know anybody who had a close relationship with their parents, but I had a nice relationship. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
probably closer than many.
And as you got through high school and you came to the discovery that you would potentially want to go into interior design, how were they? Were they supportive of that?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, that's special in itself.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to drive an agenda for you.
No, not at all.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how did you establish what that would look like for you?
I went to college.
Did you go and look up what universities or colleges?
Yeah, of which there were not many. There was Ryerson. I feel like there was one at West, and the International Academy here.
Okay.
Which did a condensed, like they did 3 years and 2 years. So I was like, I want to do that.
And did you have a portfolio at the time too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, and I remember so specifically because the guy who interviewed me, when I opened my portfolio, it was upside down, and I went to say, it's upside down. It was upside down to him. And he was like, no, that's okay. And I was so hurt. But I get it. Like now I get it. You can kind of tell in a nanosecond
if someone's talented.
You would be able to tell either.
And what was in the portfolio?
My artwork from Thelma fucking Rock Tipping, who I will say, so again, she could have crushed me. She really could have. And she's lucky she didn't. And she may have crushed some other kids in that high school, but I'm stubborn. And I really just did set out to conquer this woman. And I think we had grade 13 then.
Yeah.
So either by grade 12 or 13, she gave me a 98.
You beat her.
Yeah.
I had a prof of similar nature in university. And I studied broadcast and print journalism in school.
Yeah.
And I had a prof where she was essentially telling me that I was never going to amount to much in the form of media. And I had worked at the Mix 99.9. I knew how to use like an editing software called Burley. And so I almost was like TAing her class because she didn't know how to use it. And so I was doing that for her, and I was writing and doing all the stuff. And she would tell me, human interest stories are never going to be of interest. No one's going to want to listen to them. Don't do it. And she would
humans are of no interest whatsoever.
Right? Like, what are you talking about? And when I did my internship, I did it at the Score, and my friend was the guy I was working for. It was a really well-known show on the Score. And he turns to me and he says, "What do you want your mark to be?" And I was like, I mean, I would love for you to give me 100. He's like, but you and I both know she's not going to accept the 100. So what do you want? I was like, give me a 98.
That's awesome.
And he's like, all right, I'll do that. And when I got my mark, it was a 96. And I was like, she doesn't know that I knew what it was.
Downgraded you. That's insane. That's insane.
Anyhow,
the power that
they want to yield.
They wield is
and
mighty.
For what?
Well, here's what I will say in hindsight is that I do think that teacher pushed me so out of my comfort zone. Again, a different kind of kid really might have suffered. She really did push me so far out of my comfort zone to my benefit.
Right. Did she ever take you into an art form that you weren't comfortable with, that you felt?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, she pushed me way into much more contemporary ways of thinking, and yeah. And
was it I don't mean to harp.
Well, I say
on,
she pushed me. She didn't push me. She tried to crush me, but I kind of read the room, and I was like, she's just looking for something. Well, I didn't have this concept of being able to look at it that way, but I don't know. Somehow I was just like, I'm just going to have to
overcome
think,
this.
Think differently, think broader.
Was there art history involved in the same class?
Uh-huh.
There was.
And that part I loved.
Because there were a lot of classes then that did not incorporate that. You would just learn the art, but you wouldn't learn the history behind it.
Right.
So it's, that comprehensive side of things, which now I think a lot of our programs are actually falling by the wayside in schools.
Yeah.
So you get accepted and you do your 2-year program. Curiosity, actually, in advance of that, were you ever working as a part-time job at any point through through junior high school or high school?
Only in the summer, a waitress at my cottage. So we would we'd move to the cottage for the summer.
Whereabouts?
Minden.
Okay. And you had a gig.
So and my sister would come up there, and we had a couple male friends across the lake that we grew up with. So there was a little posse of us, and would all try and get jobs at the same restaurant.
And it worked?
Actually, no, I'm lying. My first job was delivering newspapers by boat around the lake.
Come on.
I swear to God.
Was this a...
It was the Toronto Star. So I would pick up the papers at the marina. You had to make them.
Yes.
You had to put all the sections together.
I had a paper.
And I'd put on my bikini and I'd jump in my Boston Whaler.
Did you? Did you know this?
Dying.
Huh?
He's just going to be like, oh my God, can you make her stop talking?
Well, I haven't mentioned that there's somebody else present. We have someone else here in the room.
Is it a real live human?
It is. Sorry, we're just having fun. Okay, so you have this opportunity to be able to drive a boat around the lake.
I was driving a boat since I was probably, I don't know.
Delivering newspapers.
You didn't have rules and licenses and all that stuff then. I was probably driving a boat since I was 7.
Amazing.
So yes, my very first job technically was delivering newspapers.
How were you at docking the boat?
Very good.
Oh, you're lucky. Yeah, I'm relatively miserable at it.
Yeah. Well, years of father standing there with his hands on his hips will
instill some fear.
Instill something into you, yeah.
Okay. So now we fast forward and we go to college, and you do a 2-year diploma and degree program.
Yeah.
And what was it like? Did you feel like you had arrived at something? Did you feel like this was more competitive than you anticipated? What was it like? Did you have profs that were better than your art teacher?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I do feel like the faculty then, and there's still a couple of those people in Toronto that I was in school with that are in the industry. I don't know. I don't really have anything to compare it to. So I think for me at that age, it was a terrific program, and it was a great balance of being academic enough without kind of destroying people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were some of the courses that you took that you felt really resonated with you? Was there anything specifically or no?
No. And you know what? I mean, I was still, I don't know. I was 19. So I was mostly thinking about boys and partying still then. But, I did what I had to do to get
through school.
To get through school.
Fair.
Yeah. Well, making sure
Were-
like my hair looked good.
Were the parties fun?
Parties were great.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you finished the 2-year. You finished the 2-year degree.
Yeah.
And what does it look like after that? Where?
Well, they had I forget what they called it, but they had like a kind of placement agency.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
Okay.
they did. So, like, literally on my last day of school, I went into the office and they're like, "Oh, this woman, Patricia Say, she does residential design. She's hiring. You should call her." So, like, that was actually my first job. I worked for her for about a year. That was just like a really small firm. There was 3 of us.
And what were you doing?
Like houses.
But I mean, like as a part of your daily routine, like were you involved in
Like I was, right-hand man. So it was a bit of everything.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is great for your first job.
I would say so, especially. Yeah. I mean, if you get into a small studio, you kind of actually get to dabble in a lot.
If you're getting something out of this, do me a favor and leave the show a 5-star review. Again, it makes a real difference in who finds these conversations. And find us on Instagram too, where you'll be able to see Colette's work and the work of everyone to feature on this show. A little later, Colette describes taking on a rural property where the clients wanted to keep the original structure rather than tear it down. And she talks about starting the design not with furniture, but with the land itself, the farmland, the family, how they actually lived there. That kind of site brings its own set of problems, and windows and doors are where a lot of those problems can show up. That's the exact kind of challenge the Doors has built their business around. Whether it's cliffs or bedrock or granite, uneven or constrained sites that would stop most installers cold, none of that is new territory for them. They've been installing windows and doors on difficult sites for 20 years, with projects ranging from Toronto to Muskoka and the Kawarthas, across Ontario, across Canada, and down to the US, the Bahamas, and the Caribbean. That kind of range means they understand tight timelines, tight spaces, and site constraints, as well as conditions, better than most anyone in the business. Their product lineup ranges from vinyl and fiberglass to aluminum and aluminum woodclad and steel, all low profile, all high R value with double and triple pane glass options, including products that meet Passive House standards. And unlike a lot of suppliers, they do not charge extra for additional shop drawings or custom colors. If that is what it takes to get a project across the line, they just do it. If you want to learn more about what it's like to work with Martin and Marta, the husband and wife duo who have been running the Doors for 20 years, you can head over to the liner notes or reach out to me directly and I'll make the connection. It's Jonathan, Jonathan, at issuedforconstruction.ca. Now, back to Colette.
Yeah, I think a lot of us would say, all things being equal, start in a small studio because you just know everything that's going on, from the business side of things to the personal side of things to the design side of things. So
that's good advice.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that again. If you're listening to this and you're wondering where you should start coming out of school, go to a small studio.
Start small, 100%.
You get to see everything from the initial client meetings and what that can look like, all the way through to actually walking through construction sites, photography.
Yeah.
You're involved in it all. Larger studio, not so much.
Totally.
So what were some of the things that you felt like you picked up when you had that 1 year that were different than what you had potentially thought about? Whether that was, I didn't know that it would be easy or hard to design and to draw. Were you drawing or were you using?
Yeah, I was drawing.
Were you using any software?
No.
It was hand drawing. Okay.
Drawing, sketching.
And was it what you had thought it would be? Or was there something that
I don't know how to, because I was still concentrating on the boys and the parties.
Okay, see? Okay. I want to make sure that's, I need to know.
I could make something good up, but
no, you don't have to.
True.
No, you will.
So, it was just a perfect stepping stone.
Yeah.
Like, I think if I'm honest, my life for no reason in particular was kind of like a little bit of a slow launch. And that was good. That was perfect for me.
Well,
I didn't sort of hit the ground running at 19.
It sounds to me like you didn't want to.
I didn't want to.
Right. So you met your life at the pace at which you wanted to meet it.
I did.
Yeah.
I think I did.
Yeah.
Not consciously. But
consciously or unconsciously.
That might also have something to do with having a stable childhood and there's a lot of factors probably that go into that,
Yeah.
On the Freudian couch.
Yeah, rooted.
Yeah,
Right?
totally. Totally.
Right. So you knew what you could go out there and pursue. And
Yeah.
if you didn't want to pursue it, you didn't have to pursue it.
Yeah. And I can pursue it at a pace. Like, I
Right.
don't need to be the lead singer next week.
Right. Yeah. Pick it up, understand it,
Yeah.
absorb it, decide
Yeah.
whether or not this is something for you or not.
Yeah.
So what did it look like after that 1 year? What did you want to do? And what led you away from it?
I can't remember. Well, I'm probably starting to get to know the industry more. I'm getting,
Okay.
and I was a kind of keener joiner. So I got really involved in ARIDO. They had like a young, remember what they called it, but like a young ARIDO. I got really involved in that. Then I got on the board of ARIDO. So then I'm really starting to get into, the bones of the industry, and I'm growing up, and I met Brian Gluckstein on that board.
Okay.
And then at one point he was hiring. So I was like, I'd love the job. And when we already knew each other, that's another avenue nobody thinks about anymore.
Which is?
Volunteer.
Thank you for saying it.
Hello. Build a network. Oh, I don't know how to build a
What's a network?
It's an old-fashioned thing.
I mean, it's lost. There's a lot of this stuff that's lost.
I agree.
But
I still need a network. Like, why do you think I answered your email? I like having a tribe because we've all got things to offer. If you're not continually learning, certainly in this industry and hopefully in life, then what are you here for?
Well, maybe there'll be a light that'll shine on you at some point and you'll become a relic.
I'm okay with that.
That's about it. I mean, I think, modifying and staying current and traveling and seeing what's out there and speaking to people and seeing what they're going through is a major part of your ability to be successful for yourself.
Yeah, I still do a lot of it.
So
I was a joiner. I got really involved in ARIDO and anything to do with the industry.
And what was that? So just to clarify on that, were you working at ARIDO or were you?
No, I was volunteering.
And still working at this other studio?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really remember all the ins and outs, but
okay.
ARIDO might meet one, like maybe the board would meet. It was, I have to say, it was like the industry then, it was such an industry.
What was different?
Ray Staples was running ARIDO. There was a huge, there was two big campaigns. One was for ARIDO to buy a building because they wanted to be fiscally, secure.
Yeah.
And the other one was passing government legislation so that, because architects were always trying to wheedle away our, rights to, well, you can't do anything that's structural. They were trying to make it sort of, designers can't do anything over 2,000 square feet, or
right.
Don't quote me on these stats verbatim, but they're protecting their industry,
right?
Often at the expense of my industry. So, and that's my mother's model. Like, my mother's such a campaigner, a doer, a philanthropist. So I got very deep into the industry outside of my job.
Okay.
Which only benefited my job.
Did you have a moment?
And I still managed to party and get my hair done. You can just do it all when you're young.
I mean, you can still do it as you get older too. You just have to have a partner.
I feel like my hair has suffered, but other than that, I'm still doing it all.
I think your hair looks great.
I've succumbed to the banana clip, but other than that, I'm doing it all. This, it was really London that I gave up on my hair in London.
Oh, we're gonna get there.
There's no
travel across the pond.
Yeah.
But so you met Brian Gluckstein while you were on the board at ARIDO. And again, I'm saying all of this and repeating it because I think it's important that anyone listening to this understands that there is a world that exists beyond just what you're going to quantify as your 40 hours in the week, or now 37.5, because the 40-hour work week is a really challenging thing for a lot of people. So, that there is the requirement, if you want to be successful at this, of logging 50, 60, 70 hours in a week, because that's how you're going to make inroads. It's how you're going to get to know people. And that's how anyone that's successful and has been successful at this has done industry. Yeah.
If you're successful, you are probably working in some capacity, 7 days a week. And then, which is not to say you don't go and do your personal things in your me time, but I am this job almost from go was my whole life. and a lifestyle, therefore. So you really want to love it. And I know that's kind of cliche to say, pick a job that you love, but it's really good advice.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm there with you. So let's talk about what happens there after meeting Brian and what that looks like for you.
Yeah.
What happens?
I feel like I was with Brian for about 10 years.
Okay. And how big was the studio when you
Yeah,
joined
that's
it?
what I feel like maybe we were, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 people.
Okay.
But the economy was really picking up, and like we grew and grew. I feel like by the time I left him, I don't know, but we might have been 18.
Right. And what did you start out doing when you were there, if you can remember?
I do remember.
Okay.
The very first thing.
There are smiles across from you right now.
I remember it so viscerally
Yeah.
because I was absolutely shitting myself. Because the first place he took me to, you can edit this if you don't want.
I don't want to.
Here.
That's fine.
Okay. So anyway, it was Honey Sherman's house, which was almost finished. The one
Yes.
up north. Anyway, she needed a games table in the basement or something. There was like a couple things, couple smalls. So I feel like this was on a Friday maybe. Because he was like, okay, so can just sketch up some games tables, like whatever the few things were. And I feel like I went home and I maybe didn't sleep that whole weekend. And I fucking drew up 10 million tables. And then because on Monday I was going to have to show them to him. And it's such a vulnerable position, right? Like you want to be Jacques Grange, like from day one, like I'm going to show him this thing and it's going to be amazing. But I wasn't that confident yet. So I probably did draw 100 tables and then, picked 3 or whatever and then showed them to him on Monday. And he was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that one looks good.
That was it.
I was like, oh my God.
I did it.
I'm going to.
It was worth it. Oh my God. I can finally go to sleep.
I'm going to segue in case I forget to say it later, which is to say, and Nolan Brian, who's in the room with me here now, we talk about this still a lot. I still not suffer. I still put myself through this because if I'm not trying this hard, I do question it sometimes. Do you need to try this hard? But I want to try this hard because I just want to give. And I will say to clients, until I'm seething with envy over what I'm going to give you, I'm not happy. I just want it to be amazing. And I really want you to love it and feel it in your bones. I want you to have that feeling that I had in that eternal sunshine room.
Have you thought about recreating that room in your
I have.
studio?
I did recreate it on Instagram.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, now I have to.
A long time ago, but it is up there.
I gotta go back in the archives.
You'll see the daisy wallpaper, the grass, the yellow curtains, and then I had I don't know if you know the designer Werner Panton.
No.
Oh, well, I think he's Danish.
Okay.
He had released this lamp that looks like a toucan, and you sort of open the mouth, like when you would pull up the beak and the light would come on. And I actually found one of them, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, which is now in my daughter's room. That's how visceral that room was for me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty special.
I don't know. Or batshit, but
I don't know.
I think
there's a lot of other things that are batshit.
It gets me through.
Than that. So you have your first kind of breakthrough with Brian after a sleepless weekend and a selection for a games table.
Yeah.
So congratulations on this milestone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know that you need it from me at this point, but it's there and I can't retract it now.
Yeah.
So what does it look like as you go forward? Do you now start to develop some level of confidence in being able to present to him? Or are you now thinking, oh my God, that happened on the first time. What's going to look like in the second time?
No, I think it's just baby steps and it's, slowly. And he was, I don't know how, he had long hair at the time. So he was definitely, he was established. But, we were a pretty young studio and a fun studio. My huge takeaway from him is humor. He was funny. He was funny with us and funny with the clients.
And was it the same humor?
Kind of, yeah. Kind of shtick.
That's pretty special.
Yeah. And I still occasionally will hear something come out of my mouth that's him.
I mean, there's something to be said for that.
Well, it's a lot. And the very rare thing he has is he was always a businessman. And so one of my first mentors ran a business. And so many people run creative studios. And that can be a struggle.
Yeah. Well, so I'll tell you this is that I've been in touch with the studio quite a bit. And so he'll be coming on probably in the beginning of the new year. But what I have definitely heard a resounding message from people in this industry that have worked for Brian is that everyone's enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always work out that way.
Of course
when you're
not.
running a studio and there's a level of expectation and you're working with clients of a high net worth, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of deliverable expected.
Yeah.
And it can burn a lot of people out. And sometimes the people that are running those types of studios can be really, really challenging.
Yeah.
And,
kind of famously so.
Right?
Yeah.
But I've never heard that of anyone that's worked at his studio.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, Brian.
Yeah, totally. Second that.
So okay.
He still makes me laugh.
Well,
Which to me, that's my holy grail. Like everything to me is about finding a laugh. That sounds super cheesy, but yeah, kind of.
Why?
Because I mean,
why is that cheesy?
Let's have a laugh.
I mean, you have to laugh at things.
I think so.
Otherwise, you're going to be crying. It's so much.
But it's a little out of fashion.
To laugh?
A little bit.
Oh, I guess
But it's not out of fashion in my house or in my studio or in my psyche. It's really kind of the reason for living. He who laughs the most wins.
Yes.
Simple.
Yes. I mean, that's half my phone calls are
right.
rooted in stupidity and laughter.
Yeah.
As they should be.
Yeah, I agree.
While also trying to drive something forward. But
of course.
But yeah, look, if you're in a situation where all you're doing at work is
shrieking.
Yeah, shrieking and throwing an anvil down on everyone, then everyone's going to be crushed.
Do you actually think one of those studios could survive anymore? Like, again.
Do I think they could?
I don't.
I mean, I won't name names, but I do know that there are still some studios that can be somewhat like that.
Really?
But I think that people have an admiration for what that can be. And I say what that can be, I mean like what that studio is and what the output is. And so they'll grit their teeth and go through it to be able to say that they were a part of that. And that's where they.
But they're not going to stick around.
No, they're not. And they know that.
Yeah.
They're going there to go lick.
Yeah. To do
take their licks.
To do a tenure of terror is fine.
Exactly. I mean,
but that's very hard on the firm. So
it is. But if that's the firm you're running, then that's what you're going to experience. Sure. You're going to have some level of turnover and you're going to try to maximize what you get out of those people.
Yeah.
So how, was everything that you had worked on at Brian's, was it all res? Or
well, it started out all res, and then it was kind of the big condo boom. So we did it was like then it was the whole model suite thing, and there was a lot of hilarious stories to do with model suite installations and dealing with developers. But,
like what? I want to.
Oh my god, I don't know. I can't even. Well, so one that comes to mind. And we had this great Latino woman on staff who did PR for us, but there was a developer. I
doesn't matter who it was.
I guess we found out he was going bust.
Okay.
I don't remember the details, but it was sort of like, let's just say $200,000 worth of furniture had just been delivered, and we have somehow found out they're going bust, and so we decide we're going to do like a raid. And so we might have even been SKR. Anyway, we get like our movers involved, like all hands on deck, because we've still got a key for a minute. And we literally sort of went in there in the middle of the night and stole back all the furniture, which we probably weren't going to get paid for. I don't know. But it was like crazy stuff like that.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
That's a good story. SKR.
It was pretty fun. We loved it.
Yeah. Okay. So you get a little bit of a taste of commercial side of development, which is interesting. And I say that because I'm always curious in understanding from your career perspective, how did you establish where you'd want to eventually land for your own business? So you get to understand how a person can make a career in residential, in multi-res,
Sure.
and then also product design.
Yeah.
Because Brian had always been doing that.
Yeah, that was all happening when I was there.
Right.
He was launching that.
And so how many years in did you establish, I want to have a change and I want to go see what else is out there?
Well, I didn't. My husband was increasingly working overseas. And so he's a bit of a renegade. He was like, we should just move to England for a year. And then, because we had one young child, second child on the way. So he's like, well, if we just lived in England for a year, then, I could do all these day trips instead of all these overseas trips, which is a lot. And to me, that sounded insane.
And did you have kids at the time?
Yeah, I had a 1-year-old and a second. I was pregnant.
Oh, that's a lot.
Anyway, he's very persuasive. So I'm like, okay, fine. We'll go for a year. I guess. And so then that means I'm having this baby in England. And so I told Brian, actually, I said, so I had to sit him down and I said, I'm going for a year, but and then I'll be back. Everything will be fine.
I'll run the England studio.
So yeah, then a year sort of went. Well, so then a year went by. I had the child. Then it was that seemed to go by very quickly.
Yeah.
And it was kind of magic. So then we were like, well, we should just do one more year.
It's too good.
We'll just do one more year. So I saw an advert in the world of interiors for a decorative arts master's degree, 1 year. And I was like, oh my God, that would be my dream to do that in Europe. It was English and French decorative arts. I've got a newborn in my arms. I'm like, that would just be amazing.
Also take your mind off of being stuck to a newborn. Which is great.
Obviously, if my children are listening, that was the best time of my life and all I ever wanted.
No question. No question.
But
also,
it's
a lot of fucking time with a kid.
I'm a little greedy. So, God bless my husband. It wasn't even a big deal. He was just like, you should totally do that. So off I go to do this freaking master's. We get a nanny. We ate pizza for a year, literally.
Did you change up the toppings or was it the same pizza all the time?
I don't know. Probably same pizza all the time.
Okay.
It's kind of a blur. It was just totally amazing. I mean, there was 10 of us. We did all the English country houses. We did.
What do you mean? Sorry. When you say you did all the English country?
Well, the course was based at the Wallace at the time, the Wallace Collection. But we did a lot of studying in actual estate houses, and same in France.
One more thing before we keep going. If this episode is doing something for you, take a moment, leave the show a 5-star review. It makes a real difference. I'd appreciate it. Colette would appreciate it. Everyone would appreciate it. And come find us on Instagram, where we're showcasing the work of Colette and everyone else who's been on. Coming up, Colette talks about a stretch of her career spent commuting between London and Toronto. 3 weeks in one city, a week in another, month after month, chasing projects on both sides of the ocean. That kind of pace only works if the travel itself stops being the hard part, and that is where the Amex Platinum card earns its keep. And Amex has got a range of cards. I got a Platinum when I started my business. It gets you into the American Express Global Lounge Collection. More than 1,550 airport lounges across 140 countries. So instead of sitting at a crowded gate before a red eye, you have somewhere quiet to sit down and get some actual work done, or just reset before the next flight. And beyond the lounges, there was a real list of benefits built exactly for this kind of travel. A statement credit towards your Nexus application or renewal helps you move through the border faster. Fine hotels and resorts give you access to over 1,600 properties worldwide, with perks like room upgrades when available, late checkout, and daily breakfast for two. You also get complimentary elite status with programs like Marriott Bonvoy and Hilton Honors, along with upgrade opportunities through partner car rental programs. This is why I went with Amex. And every dollar you spend earns membership rewards points you can put towards flights with multiple airlines and toward your next hotel stay. When you're running a business that has you on site in another city or another country, as often as Colette has had hers, those small comforts add up fast, and they make the difference between travel that drains you and travel that becomes part of how you work. If you want to learn more about the Platinum card or any of the other cards that Amex offers for your business, email me directly and I'll connect you with their team. It's Jonathan, Jonathan, at issuedforconstruction.ca. Now, back to Colette.
So it was absolutely incredible. And in the V&A and, we were just in the back door of everything. So this was so spoiling. And to do something like that when you've been in your career for a little bit, it's just like, had I done it before I ever worked, it would not have been the same.
Right.
Because there was an appreciation, I had enough expertise to really appreciate and soak up what they were talking about.
And were you living inside of these places?
No.
Okay.
No, just day trips and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we did like 2 weeks in France.
And how many
So it's like you would do like 13 houses in 2 weeks kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, with the curators. And so taking the furniture apart and behind with the textile conservators and the porcelain conservators and like all that kind of stuff.
That's a lot.
Oh my God.
That's a lot.
It was amazing.
How many students were in the program?
10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. You did say that.
I did.
I know. I apologize. When you're traveling between these places, are you traveling together?
Yeah.
So you become a pretty close group of people.
Oh, we were super close.
And do you still keep in contact?
I'm in contact with 2 of them. Yeah.
That's amazing. And are they running their own studios as well?
No, I was the only designer, actually.
Oh.
Like there was a couple National Trust people, a couple museum curators, a sort of 18th century silver connoisseur, antique dealer. They were real smart cookies.
So eclectic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I was definitely arguably the least qualified.
It seems almost like it's like an exclusive club. How did you find out about this specific program?
They had advertised in the World of Interiors magazine.
This is what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should listen.
I should be listening.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, we told each other.
But like, to account. What are the odds, right?
Wow. I mean, that was like 2 questions that I asked you right there that were already answered.
Does that mean it's nap time now?
No, it's not. So the joke there is that sometimes during these recordings, I'm exerting quite an effort to stay in everything and navigate. And every now and again, sometimes my eyes may close. So thankfully it hasn't happened yet, but now I know for sure that if it happens, I'm fucked.
I can just keep talking. It's all right.
Well, no, I'll
do a monologue.
Well, I'm actually curious to know about, like, out of those 10 people, and you say you keep in touch with 2, you said that there was one person that was looking at 18th century silver.
Yeah, Sweet Peter. He was a connoisseur of 18th century silver.
Do you keep in contact with that person?
I did for quite some time. In fact, because he would have all of us to his club once a year. Like I feel like in November, for his birthday, actually. That went on for a while.
So interesting.
But then gradually, yeah. Well, as you said, it's a seriously immersive thing.
Yeah.
And I've done many of those kind of things. There's a study group called Addingham, which you apply to, it's more like about maybe 25 curators. They do study groups at Buckingham Palace. They do 2-week study groups. I did Scotland with them. I did a organized bus trip with Nicky Haslam out to the Czech Republic to do castles and estates in the Czech Republic. I mean, I love this kind of stuff. I just did a huge Sicily trip with a bunch of American designers like Miles Redd and Alexa Hampton and about 20 of us to Sicily. Same thing, sort of. Miles organized it, but with not a docent, but I don't know, whatever you call her, all organized, all to, see architecture, see houses, gain access privately, where you can really study, photograph.
You get to photograph in these.
Usually.
Okay.
Usually. Not always.
Um,
Because, the
I'm
thing about
flabbergasted.
even, in my day, it was magazines and tear sheets. Well, I guess it's still my day, but when I started, it was magazines and tear sheets. Now you have Instagram, but you often don't have, like when someone photographs a room, they're generally photographing most of the room. I want a picture of that. Like I want a picture of the bolt or the corner or the stitching detail so this is still a big part of my life. Hunting.
Yeah. And you're the one physically doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we all are. The whole, obviously everyone in the
Team.
studio.
Oh, let's go to the evolution towards that. So you finished this 1-year degree program.
And I was going to do a dissertation on, I got a little obsessed with historical paint colors. Paint has a very fascinating history if you're a nerd, which
can we go there? Yeah, let's go there.
Well, obviously, there's.
What do you mean?
Well, there's color theory, which there's the psychology of color, but then, paint is, you could study social history, political history, and what would you call, not like gemology, but what would you call like the history of like minerals and plants? All of that is paint.
Okay.
Because obviously that's where they're getting pigment.
Yeah.
And so different pigments have different monetary value. Pigments even become part of like the Silk Road story, because as the Silk Road develops, then pigments are being brought in, and it always starts only the royal family can have that color. Then it might filter down into like aristocrats can have that color, and then eventually everyone is trying to figure out how to make that color. Like it's absolutely fascinating. You are spellbound.
I am. Because I'm thinking about so many things related to color and how much of it is associated to like branding. And to your point, like, the concept of royal blue.
Right.
It's a thought process that I've never really put myself through.
Right. There's some really wonderful books that I can share with you.
Yeah.
On that for fellow nerd listeners.
I find it so interesting.
Well, it's about to get even better.
Okay, go.
Because as I'm in all these houses, which, the estate houses, let's just say of England, for example, which I spent more time in than anywhere else probably. But part of this course is just touching on conservation restoration. So, some of these houses, they might start in the 1500s, and then they're often expanding the houses, but then they're also changing the houses based on, who's living there, trends of the day. Well, that sounds a bit trite, but one minute it's, Tudor gloom, and then next, or then for another generation, it's like Robert Adam lightness. So what happens in these houses is these things get layered upon decade over decade. So you'll have an original paint is will be a lime wash, and then it'll be a different lime wash, and then it'll be a layer of wallpaper, and then it'll be another layer of wall. Anyway, it's built up layers. So there were in the 60s, after the Second World War, there were other dorks like me, John Fowler, being a big part of this movement. They came up with scientific ways of scraping back one layer at a time. So it was called paint analysis.
Okay.
And so that may sound really boring, but
no,
I thought it was super fascinating.
You saw my face. I'm like, I'm in. Okay, let's go. Let's talk about millimeters.
Like again, it goes back to the hunt. So I was going to write my dissertation about this, and my friend Ruthie, thank God bless her, she was like, that sounds super boring. Why don't you write it about like, because I had been studying the one of the first decorators in the UK is John Fowler, who becomes Colfax and Fowler. Wonderful, wonderful story about the birth of the industry in England. So she's like, that sounds terrible. Why don't you do John Fowler's Hunting Lodge, which is now owned by Nicky Haslam? And I knew that a lot of the original Fowler paint, Fowler was also obsessed with paint. So I was like, that is totally a way better idea. So
because now you get to integrate something else into a different story.
Yeah. Exactly. So I wrote to Nicky, said, I'm doing this paper and blah, 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 and I'd love to talk to you. And so he sweetly wrote back and said, well, you must come and see the hunting lodge. And I still have the postcard he sent me because it was like, well, you must come and see the hunting lodge. Why don't you? The garden is so pretty in May. Come then. It was just something sort of enchanting. So I did, and we did, and then I did the paper. I got a first somehow. And then I called him in the fall to say, I'd love to take you to lunch, say thank you, and give you a copy of the paper, which, maybe you want for the archive of the house. So we went for lunch at Zuma, which was the hot restaurant at the time. And I made sure I got there early. I had cigarettes on the table because he's a chain smoker. I had wine on the table. I didn't know that he
Did you know the brand of cigarette that he liked? Or
it
didn't matter? It was
he
just
wouldn't
enough?
give a shit anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was just kind of like, I'm just going to play this cool. I'm going to look cool. I'm going to be cool. And I'm going to take him to Zuma because Zuma's cool. I didn't know at the time he hates Asian food. But anyway. So he rocks up. And of course, the restaurant, because it was a hot spot at the time, it's full of like Vidal Sassoon's there. It's full of people he knows. So it turns into this like practically salon. We get really drunk. We have the best time. By the time we leave,
this is fucking great.
By the time we leave, we're hugging each other. And he's like, call me tomorrow. Call me tomorrow. And then sort of like, I don't know. Well, it becomes a long story, but you get the gist of it. That was how it all started.
And how many years were you there?
Like 12.
And how did the role evolve that you had while you were there?
Yeah, I started by working 3 days a week because I've still got these babies at home.
And how far was the commute from home to the studio?
I'm living in Barnes. It was about, 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
We were working in Sloane Square, which was really fun. So I'm trying to think how many people, like, I feel like when I started, it was maybe 6, 7 people. And by the time I left, we were 21.
Wow. It was almost like the same as Brian's.
London was booming.
Yeah. Like,
it was a great time to be there.
So how was it for you being in the studio and seeing the evolution of the scale of not only the growth of the studio, but also like growth of projects? I'm assuming over time, as that studio grew, projects just exploded. So what was it like? Were you traveling all over the world?
Oh yeah,
for
totally. This? I mean, I literally I knew again, because somewhere in my youth, I realized that I should really think about everything from my 92-year-old self. And so, like right from go, I was like, this is fucking incredible. Because my first job, well, he did call me the couple days later and he said, I'm doing a job in Montreal. I need you. I was like, for fuck's sakes, I don't want to do a job in Montreal. I'm in London.
I left that country.
But anyway, obviously I go in and and we did do it. But very quickly thereafter, he gets a call from someone who's doing what's called a grade 2-star listed. So that's the highest historical designation in the UK. This is a serious house. That's completely derelict. So 18th century house, completely derelict. And like, there's basically no budget.
Good luck.
And I am in London with the best trades in many cases in the world in every capacity, like whether you need embroidery or verre-glamise or we would just come up with anything you'd come up with. It's no problem.
Right. And so how did that project come to an end?
That was, I don't know, 4 years later. That was in World of Interiors.
Okay.
Yeah.
They found the budget.
Oh, sorry. I said unlimited budget. Did you hear limited?
I heard limited.
Maybe did I say limited?
You said no budget.
Oh.
And I think in today's world, no budget means
it had no budget. Yeah.
And no budget in that era means
oh,
no
that's that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's too
You're like,
bad.
oh, how's that work out? for
Yeah, I'm like, oh, it's just so okay. So that what they won the lottery? They spent all the money on the purchase, and then they had nothing left for the design.
Oh my
Now I'm with you.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we're gonna leave all that in because that was great. That whole little thing that was
Love
great.
that little round robin. Words are interesting.
So okay, so a limit,
So that's-
limitless budget.
Yeah. So that's kind of my
Got it.
entree into, and Nicky was also, still very on fire in those days. Like we had, we'd have the press in the office every day. He was out to 3 events every night, which I was often joining
That's
him.
crazy.
No, it was
so
really
crazy.
good times.
I think about that now, about the lack of sleep.
I
Right.
just never thought about it.
Right.
I will say, so my husband was, because he was often traveling.
Yeah.
And he loved to do Saturdays with the girls. So they would often do like, a daddy-daughter outing, go to the aquarium or, whatever. And I'd probably have a nap.
Well earned.
So, I mean, well, it's debatable, but anyway.
I appreciate you saying it's debatable, but we did talk about this at the beginning, and that was that you're establishing networks with people.
Yeah.
You're staying out late and, being silly and laughing and doing all those things that are developing like intrinsic value in relationships where you can ask favors of people because they know you in a different way.
100%.
And you can lean on that, and that can help establish you and what your career is going to look like and how far it's going to go.
100%.
So,
and I'm also going to throw in my industry, I don't know if people really have a sense of this, but this has always been part of my agenda. I want in your house.
I want in your house?
Yeah.
Oh, well, fuck. You can't, you walk right through mine.
And Nicky was very good about this. Like he would make sure I saw people like good houses, private houses.
Yeah.
There was just a total understanding. If we were going anywhere, it could be Istanbul, it could be Marrakesh. Like we did a job in Marrakesh. Like he made sure I went into Mrs. So-and-so's house and Princess So-and-so's house. And like, oh yeah.
You can see that
you see the best of the best.
Because I'm thinking about like all these different questions that I want to ask. Like, what was some of the, like something so rare that you would have, something so precious you would have seen in one of these homes that, you say, you know what, I want to be able to get to the stage with my own business where like I can start speccing something like that. Was there anything like that in that stage of life?
I mean, there probably was a million things I'd have to think about it.
Sure.
Some attics come to mind, that had incredible collections, but like for me, it was and still is. It's all about atmosphere. It's really got very little to do with like, some of these houses were, old Queen antique dealers who had just very eccentric bohemian, but fucking amazing atmospheres. Like just indescribable. So to sit in those rooms and see how they serve tea and so
you're talking about like how they would have navigated the room, or you're
all of it. Okay.
about-
So one example comes to mind, John Richardson. So he had a very famous apartment in New York. He wrote all the books on Picasso. So very erudite man, he had spent his life around a lot of creatives, and he had a very, I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of people would say eccentric interior. I don't know if it was eccentric, but it was definitely a well-collected, well-traveled, layered interior. You could just learn more from sitting in one of those rooms than you could learn in any museum, showroom.
Right.
Yeah. It's, which is why they have, like on the 6th floor in the decorative arts part of the Louvre, like if you go way up to the 6th, they have room sets. Now you can't go in them, of course, so it's not the same thing, but that's a taste.
Right.
It's a taste.
So you go and you travel and you experience all of this for 12 years. You're immersed in a world that the OAC version of you never would have necessarily contemplated would have been a reality that you'd experience.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you get from going through all of that experience to then saying, I think I want to do my own thing? How does that, like, what was it? Was that something that was always in the back of your mind, or was it something that you said to yourself, I think now I've curated enough, I've learned enough, and I want to go do it for myself?
No, it was just more organic than that.
Okay.
Because eventually my husband's job had him traveling all the time this way. So we're, very established in London, but he's in New York every week. So he had been pushing for a couple of years. Like, I don't think I can do this forever. And so eventually I sat down with Nicky and I said, well, look, why don't it's just going to be for a year. I'm not kidding. I did it again. I'm a compulsive liar. Anyway, I literally.
Well, at least we're coming to terms with it now.
But
I told you some people see this as therapy.
I was telling the truth. I was hoping it was just going to be a year. So I was like, it's just going to be a year.
Sorry, Nicky, it's been a little longer.
And actually, it's like initially we kept an apartment in London and I probably commuted for 3 years. We had a really cool apartment in Linden Gardens. That was a whole chapter. I was flying every month. So I would do 3 weeks here, a week in London. So I did that for a few years. Wow. But the business.
How old were your kids?
I
guess.
I can't remember. I don't know. 10 and 12.
Okay. So hard. Also, right? As much as you
it's not like I asked them, but
I'm saying
was not ideal.
I'm saying for you, as much as you joke about you're selfish and I want to do things for myself, at the same time, being away from family for periods of time is both great,
heavenly,
and heavenly. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I kind of felt like I felt at the time like I had the best of both worlds. So, and I, like, so many people here were like, well, you can't keep doing this, which really pissed me off. And I probably couldn't have, but I did do it for quite some time. But, the London was kind of tanking big time. I started getting asked to do things here. So it actually kind of just happened pretty organically. And initially I was even just an arm of NH Design. Legally, my company is still called NH Design.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's another little tidbit of information for all y'all listening.
Yeah. Riveting.
Well, I'm trying to think about the right way to say this for myself. Because you say it like I had the best of both worlds. Like, I started to do travel now for this too, and I love it. Like, I the idea of going away for short stints of time, being with your family, it makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
You do your calls and you say hi and all the rest of it. But there's a lot of like value you're building in that experience of going away that you get to bring back for your business and for who you are as a professional.
And your relationship, therefore your children.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. I still ask my children every now and then. Well, they're not even children. I mean, I'm like, did you have that? Like, did you feel sometimes like Daddy or I were away too much, or we were really rarely away at the same time?
Right.
I don't know. They say no.
Which means that you did it right? Because if you didn't,
good enough.
No, I think that if you wouldn't have done it right, if the way in which you managed that portion of life wasn't done correctly, their answer would be different.
Right.
I think that means that enough time together when it was together was powerful enough that the time apart didn't seem to at all faze them.
Yeah.
They almost don't. I mean, they remember you going away, but they wouldn't know how long you were gone.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's a vastly important part of life.
Yeah, I agree.
You and your husband unlock.
Yeah.
In that way, because I think that there's a lot of people that can go through marriages that can be trying as a result of that.
Yep.
Your business can sometimes fail because if you're away, and you're spending too much time on the road, you're not there to oversee some of the things that are happening in studio.
Yeah.
And when you were at Nicky's studio, you were helping run the studio. Were you not at one point?
I was the creative director.
That's what I mean. So to be away from the studio, and everyone else is doing the work, you're not necessarily there always to oversee it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of empowerment that happens there with the staff.
Yeah.
Just that whole experience. Wow. That's great. So you take your year away. And what does that turn into?
And come back this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You swim back across the pond.
Yeah. Well, it just became this chapter.
When did you officially start your own practice?
I mean, I'm like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you remember what it was like when you started? Were you anxious? Were you excited? Or what
well,
like?
I was probably, I don't really reflect a lot in that way, but I was probably thinking
that's what now's for.
Just about sort of, day by day, project by project, because I was hoping to get back to London.
Okay. So what did you start off with? What were your first projects?
God. Well, one here, one in Montreal, just sort of people I knew, friends of friends, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And were they new homes? Was it smaller projects?
The first one was a smaller project.
Was it a main floor? Like what?
It was the first one was a redeck. And listen, like, can you imagine going from?
That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah. I'm in London, really living the life of Riley with, one of the top firms in the world for a very exceptional man. And now I'm on the third floor of my house by myself, writing my own PO, writing up the invoice and just going, holy fuck, I can't believe this. But I don't know. I'm just
like a good decision or a bad decision?
It wasn't really a decision.
Okay.
It was just like, well, this is fine. I'll do this until we move back to London. And then I don't really know how long. I mean, I probably did that I think Miranda was my first hire. So, I mean, I probably did that for 2 years. So
independent for 2 years. And how many projects over the course of that time would you guesstimate?
I have no idea, but
5, 10?
Yeah, maybe 10.
That's a lot. I'm saying that if you're listening to this and you're wondering, how many projects can you take on as an individual? You think about if you're working, in most cases, if you're working at a studio, if you're running 2 to 4 projects, like that's a good amount of work in front of you in some capacity, right?
Yeah.
If you're running 5, 6, 10 projects over the course of 2 years, it's a lot of projects.
Yeah.
It's a lot of decisions. It's a lot of management, of paperwork, invoicing, billables, all of it.
Yep.
Good for you. That's okay. Fine. It's a lot. You're talking about.
Well, it's just also it's life, right? I mean, I wasn't going back to London tomorrow, so and this industry is my whole life, so I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just also interject that, like, from a style perspective, like, you're not loading up. There's not a truck delivery. We don't do installs where the truck arrives and everything shows up. Like, so it's building from a knowledge of these decades of
course.
Seeing. And so it's like, it can be a slower process. It's not like on September 17th, the truck arrives.
I had 10 installations.
10 years decorated.
Yeah, no, it's over time. Yeah, you're curating. Yeah, I get that. That curating element is one of the core elements of what can define studios, because one of them is more transactional and one of them is very integrated over the course of time.
Yeah.
And when you're integrated over time, you are talking about like a deeply rooted relationship.
Yeah.
And we alluded to that before we started recording, where, you understand, where things that you might not want to know about where they are. And so there's that nicety to it. But again, I go back to it. You can try to downplay it, but fuck, man, 10 projects in 2 years is a lot of projects. And whether you're curating over time or not, there's a lot of organizational skills that have to go into managing all of that.
Yeah.
So how did you start that off? Were you binder based? Was it?
Oh my God, I was binder based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And spreadsheets?
Yeah. I can't do Excel.
Okay, see, I like this. Okay. So what were you doing? Like was it when you talk about binders, like did you have it set up by rooms? Did you have it set up by sections of
Oh, sorry. In terms of the project management, that was pretty much all on desktop,
Okay.
Word documents,
Okay.
and then, invoicing. I mean, just because of the way my brain works, I find Excel, there's too many things on the page. So I do have to do it a little, when I was doing it, I had to do it a bit old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you establish like what type of agreement to look at for when you were starting?
Oh, I mean, I'd known that kind of stuff for years. I mean, one of the things, Nicky was not running the tightest ship.
It's creative.
Like in the UK, I mean, none of them are trained, especially, none of them are trained really. They don't they're just, it was more of a gentleman's industry, until really quite recently.
Okay.
So when I came in, I remember saying to Toby, our accountant, I handed him, I was like, here's my timesheet. And he looked at me like, what? It was like, you do have everyone like tracking their time, right? It was crazy.
I know a lot of studios that still struggle with doing that.
Yeah.
They still struggle with doing that. And which means that you think about how much money
Yeah.
they're leaving on the table. Unrealized?
Yeah. Unrealized revenue.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's worse than that, because it's like, obviously unrealized revenue bothers me more than unappreciated capital. Like, we give so much, and no one could ever understand it who doesn't work in the industry. I get that. I get the fact that no one's going to pay me because I just, I chose to spend 10 hours on Saturday looking at pillow corners. Obviously, no one's going to pay me for that. But, if you're not billing your time, I don't know. It's like being cheated on. You're cheating on yourself. It's awful.
And you're trying to justify it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you establish that you would need to bring in support for the practice? Like how?
Well, it just wasn't sustainable.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Totally.
Which part?
But not to mention the fact that I hate. So my first hire was a purchaser.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
that really went back to the Glucky model. Like, Brian was sort of like, we had a purchaser, we had different levels of designers, and then he had a PR person. Did we have anything else? I can't remember. But anyway, he kind of had a structure.
Mm-hmm. And you want to kind of resemble that in some capacity?
Yeah. Because going back to your point about, running a creative studio, I could just spend all my time being a business person, which that's fine for some people,
yeah.
But I'm really a creative at heart. I want to be out there hunting. So I need other people to help me with the numbers and the POs and the tracking. And also that's where the money lies. So having someone really hyper-focused on that, in my mind, that was my first hire.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I say that because a lot of people I talk to will have their first hire be someone that is going to come in and they're going to help them with design. Different way of setting up a studio. So by doing that, you felt now you were actually able to stay focused on the things that you wanted to be doing.
Yeah.
And not staying in the weeds of the things that you didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Which makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Did it allow you to be able to take on more work?
Yeah.
And then what did that turn into for the continuation of growth within the practice?
Well, then probably my next hire was a designer.
Was there a number that you knew? Like if you knew that you were going up by another 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 projects, you'd need someone else? Or was it more so just the generality of the complexity of the work?
Yeah, it's more generality.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also, I'm trying to also have a life-work balance.
Right.
And, I am a mother. And
Yeah.
I finally realized I had children, and who by then were, teenagers, which is like a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah, which is the right time to realize they have children because now they want to go and do their own thing.
Pretty much. Well, no, anyway, depending on your children, you have to lean in a little in those years sometimes, which I did.
Yeah. I'm going to be getting there.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
I I very much admire the fact that right now I'm not quite there.
Yeah.
And so I take.
Yes. So from your 92-year-old self,
Yeah.
you can look at that and then really enjoy this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely take stock of that.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that evolution of location of projects. Let's talk about the evolution of the overall practice. And are you 2, 3, 4 years in and now acquiring all the kinds of projects that you want, or are some of the projects that you're currently working on now still slightly beyond where you were 2 to 3 or 4 years in?
Oh, I think the projects have probably gotten better. Like as the firm grew here, the reputation here grows. And I mean, to put it bluntly, I just, I'm not responsible for putting food on the table.
You are? Or
I am not. And so I can be a little discerning, and I'm also at a stage in my life where I just am very comfortable now leaning into what I believe in.
And who you are.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's from what I have derived from today, that is what I see, is that you are exactly who you are.
I have no fucking idea who I am, but I really know what I believe in rooms.
Yeah. I don't know if I agree. I mean, without knowing, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But you also know where you fit. Like, I'm taking stock of it from what I see. You know that you cut your teeth in 2 really, really established studios.
Yeah.
And help grow one of them.
Yeah.
I would say actually help grow both of them. And then you go in and start your own practice, and you understand what it takes to start the practice.
Yeah.
You go and you're on boards, you're going out and you have the social life.
Yeah.
You move a family across the pond and then move back. And I mean, come on, you know who you are. You are someone that is capable of pretty much taking on any kind of challenge and finding a way to be able to turn it into something of consequence. I'm saying this for you.
Yeah, yes, I'm sure you're right. I partly answered that because part of me never wants to know fully who I am, because I like to think like every day it's like the first day.
Well, and you're evolving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I'm just at the beginning.
That's fair.
Like that's for me, like that's where the life force comes from. So yes, I know who I am thus far, but I know that there might be 10 more chapters. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. And
I might be a lesbian tomorrow. One can only hope.
The reality is that every stage of everything you're going through is the first time you're going through that stage. You have some experience to draw upon from what might be the next onboarding of a client. You can draw upon the previous onboarding of a client.
Yes.
But some of the life experience that you're going through in a given day is net new.
Yeah.
And, what you're dealing with managing someone and their complexities of their life in studio while they're trying to fulfill what they need to fulfill for your studio.
Yeah.
You, again, might have something to draw back upon. But first time dealing with that person in that scenario. Yes. So to your point, you don't.
Both are true.
Both are true. Correct. So what does it look like now at stage of practice? How many people are at the studio?
We're 7.
Okay. And scales of project now are no longer just the small scale reno, or
no, we're kind of all over the map. Like I don't have a square footage minimum.
Yeah.
Like I'm not opposed to doing a powder room, but if someone wants to paint powder room white, I'm probably not your person. And then a few years ago, we were asked to do a private members club here in the city. I think one of the oldest in the country. And because that's sort of members clubs are like, they're quasi-residential, it's a social club. So I absolutely loved doing that.
It was your first time doing that?
It was my first time doing a club. Yes. Yeah.
And what was different about that than doing something in res?
Well, it happens to be housed in a historic building.
Okay.
So my angle really for it was, and because it's a neo-Renaissance building, it's sort of dripping in narrative. So because that's what they did then. So I kind of walked the committee through the building and talked about what the building was and the personality of the building and, you know, all this iconography and this is an allegory of this. And so that really became like the story for now. It's not like I was going to do a historic interior or some sort of like museum interior. So I wanted to respect that and then celebrate that and give them something that would hold to an international clientele. Like this could be a club anywhere in the world. That's now, but it feels very nestled into this historic building. So that was just super fun.
And have you had other projects that have had that same type of, what do I want to say here? The same type of like restraint and challenge in it, whether it could be like whether it could be a condo, another historical home, if it was something that was completely suburban, like in the middle of nowhere, a rural area. I should say, as I say suburban, I mean rural area.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to bring charm to something.
Oh, 100%. Like simultaneously, almost, we did a job here out in the country. I'm not going to be specific.
Yep.
Incredible property. And this was bought for the property. But for various reasons, they didn't want to tear down, which was a really basic 70s, kind of badly built box. So that's literally the opposite.
Yeah.
So then I was the one, I'm like, okay, so now we get to write the story. So we're going to think about the location, you know, the farmland around, the family, what you do here, how you use it. So we kind of came up with, I mean, probably even less them than me, but I just think like if everyone has a story, we're all stories. So if we can bring that in to the project, whether or not the client gives a fuck, everyone's going to feel it. Again, going back to atmospheres, like I don't give a shit about interior design. I'm into psychology and atmosphere. Like I just want you to feel it. You might not even like it, but you're going to feel something.
A resounding effect.
Yes.
In your mind, it's going to stand out.
Yeah.
And you'll think about it and talk about it.
And you're definitely going to be comfortable. And you're definitely going to look good because the lighting's going to look good. And the seating is going to be placed in a way that works. So like, you know, there's all those sort of like tropes that should just happen sort of effortlessly, but actually require a ton of thought. Yeah. So if you're comfortable and you look good and the house is working the way you need it to, yeah, you're going to feel it. And then obviously, you know, we're going to put all the trappings on that also make it look lovely.
Mm-hmm. So given what you describe in these variety of projects, how do you establish and when did you establish your current method of payment and how you're going to charge for fees? Like, what did that look like? Was it something that you started with initially and then modified, or is it something that you've stuck with since you started?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always modifying my contract, through talking with other designers, you know, or like things crop up. I've even had clients upon reviewing my contract sort of question something and then, that might,
and if it makes sense, do you make the modification?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a lawyer client not too long ago who was like, you know, that should really read blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, good point. This has gone out to 50 people that have not picked up on that.
Yeah.
What was the question again?
It was about your fees and how you set them and what that looks like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of still working the way I've pretty much always worked in the industry. Like, I don't know how Brian works anymore, but he used to be hourly. And then, you know, I guess we used to call it cost plus. I've definitely changed my terminology.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't know. It can get really boring. And I don't believe that there is one right way, but I do think that we are the only industry that has ever talked about cost plus or trade discounts. It's completely fucked. It definitely needs to change.
How would you want to see it
We're not in the
changed?
discount industry. We get trade pricing because we are the trade, the same way Holt Renfrew gets trade pricing on fashion because they're the trade. Like, it's so weird how this, I don't know how it ended up like this, but here we are, and it's a mess.
You're saying that you don't think that that a discount that's offered to a designer or an architect.
Well, first of all, I don't
builder
call
should
it a discount. So in my contract,
Thank you.
it's called
Okay.
trade pricing.
Okay.
Because I'm not winners.
Yep.
And I don't know why we did that to ourselves, and we should really stop as soon as possible. Unless you are in the discount, unless you are a discount, unless that's your brand. Maybe like if
Discount.
you're a TikToker discount.
Discount
No,
ID.
because there are people that are actually building those brands,
Right.
and they should do that. But that's
Right.
not what
You're
those interior design firms are.
you're devaluing yourself from the start.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just put yourself in the client's shoes. Like, I know how I would feel if I was in the client's shoes. Pretty simple. Yes.
So what you're saying is when you're in the client's shoes, you're not always expecting that everyone's going to be just offering everything at like 40% off. Could you imagine? Imagine you were like transacting, went to the grocery store, and they're like, "Oh, good news! Everything's 40% off."
Which is, and I don't find I need to have them that much anymore, but I have had to have these conversations with clients, and I'm sure I will again. And that's, whether it's Loblaws, Holt Renfrew, whoever I throw under the bus, that's exactly the conversation. Where else is this happening in your life?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
with
their
them,
lawyer and the person that's managing their wealth.
Oh, yeah,
sure.
Sure.
Also offering 40% off.
Oh, yeah, sure. But in fairness to them, the industry has also, done this to itself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really up to us to change the I can't keep narrative.
Yeah.
But there we are. So in my contract, it's trade pricing.
Yep.
And the trade pricing game, if you will, has changed a ton. Most of the vendors we used to deal with were wholesalers per se, trade only. That's changed so much. So I now have I have a couple different scenarios, but if it's a trade supplier, then we split it. If it's an antiques dealer, we split it. It's kind of along those lines.
Okay.
And it's not negotiable.
Okay. And do you typically, when a client's signing with you, do you typically take a retainer?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not a very big one, and I only started doing that recently. But I do think people should. Designers should.
I mean, that's something that I profess to people as the
Right.
utmost importance. I mean, what they're doing is they're taking up a production spot within your team.
100%.
And so that is worth something, because if you run at a certain capacity,
which happens all the time.
There's an
Oh my
opportunity
God, my
cost.
mother-in-law just died. Like, we're on hold for 6 months.
right,
I had 3 people
set up to run this.
on that project.
Yeah. Now what? Now you just have to absorb that as a part of your
Yep.
business. But that works in all the other businesses.
Yeah,
Like, can you imagine?
I know.
Again, this is some of the, and I'm saying this because I want to draw a likening to any other business
That's the
where
way I look
people
at it.
think for some reason in this business you should just drop your pants and everything's for free.
Yeah,
And
because it's so fun,
yeah. Imagine.
which it is 10% of the time. 10% of the time, it's like crack. The rest is really hard work
Yeah.
and high risk.
Yeah. Massive risk. So you're at a stage now, you're 7 people, you have projects that are pretty much all over the world. You have successfully won a great number of awards, some of which I'm sure you care more about than others. I'm saying that because that's the reality of this business. Where else do you see your business going as you continue to move it forward 10 years in? putting a lens on this 10 years out, what would it look like?
I mean, I definitely hope that I will be able to, well, hang on to my current tribe and build them into a, potential legacy tribe.
You're talking about the potential of like at some point, like succession planning?
Yeah, totally. And I'm not like, it's not so much that my name has to stay on the letterhead or anything.
Yeah.
But, having helped other people do it and having done it myself, the startup process is so massive, cumbersome, exhausting, expensive. Yeah. So that would be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of, I don't have a retirement plan. We'll sort of just have to see how it goes.
Okay. That's fair.
But I have a slight, the nerd is rearing up again. And I really do love writing.
Color. Is there something happening with color?
Well, color adjacent.
Okay.
So I'm actually making a documentary.
Oh.
About the woman who really founded our profession in the States, and her name was Elsie de Wolfe.
And how long ago was this?
So she did the Colony Club, which was the first women's club in America in 1905 in New York.
Wow.
And then she went on to do Henry Clay Frick's. She did the upper floor of Henry Clay Frick's house that they've just restored, which is now the Frick Museum. And she had a huge life by any stretch of the imagination. She was absolute 5-foot rocket of optimism and hard work. And she really established our business. And
is there old footage of her and doing what she's doing?
There is very little footage.
Okay.
But I own about 20 of her scrapbooks.
Okay.
So, back then, scrapbooking was, what Instagram is now.
Yeah.
So she was a voracious scrapbooker, as was, Cecil Beaton and like all of those people. So I have a lot of her personal scrapbooks.
How did you acquire these?
Well, they came up for auction a couple of years ago at Bonham's in Los Angeles. And it's a bit of a funny story. I don't know if I can tell it quickly, but
it's okay.
I got wind of it.
Yeah.
Cause it didn't get a lot of, it happened quite quickly. It didn't get a lot of press. Like Elle Decor and AD, they did kind of post things about it, but at the last minute. And I was on a plane to LA the minute I found out about it. And it was maybe impulsive, but I just thought, that's the kind of thing, I don't know. That's a once in a lifetime. I'm going to go to this auction. And I set myself a budget, went to the auction. I'm telling you, I was dissociated. I don't even know why I'm phoning him. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I don't even know where I am. I'm so nervous. Why? I don't know. I think I just got so overexcited.
It was the anticipation of what could be.
Yeah. So I end up buying most of them, not all of them. Now I wish I did buy all of them, but anyway, I bought most of them. And so then I get these things, all these rickety old scrapbooks, and she's annotating in them. And
did they preserve it in any way, or is it just raw?
So there's a guy called Hutton Wilkinson in Los Angeles who owns a house called Dawnridge, which was Tony Duquette's house. So he was at the auction in the room. So he sort of came up to me at the end and he was like, "Who are you?" And he handed me like and I knew I'd actually been to Dawnridge, but not when he was there. And if you want to talk about atmosphere, you need to see Dawnridge. But so he's like, "Call me tomorrow." And he's like, because he was bidding on a bunch of Tony Duquette stuff. These people are all sort of adjacent in the 40s, 50s.
Okay.
Very sort of important creatives in these decades. I lost my train of thought. So then I buy the scrap. Oh yeah. So then Hutton's like, "You need to come over, let's have lunch." So I go to have lunch.
Did he tell you to bring all these?
No.
Okay.
He just wanted to connect.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in Dawnridge. Hutton waddles off to the kitchen to get the lunch, and his wife is sitting there, and she goes, and I said, "Well, it was quite the day yesterday." And she said, "All those scrapbooks are stolen." And I was like, "Oh, no, I hadn't heard about this." And I'm like, "Oh my God, are these now my arch enemies?" So it was kind of like a little potentially dubious how all these scrapbooks had ended up in the hands of this guy, Leonard Stanley, who was sort of a fashion designer who then became an interior designer in Los Angeles, was quite big in the day, like lots of articles in Architectural Digest, etc. And then, sort of just goes off into the ether and had this incredible house and sort of decades of ill health. And then when he died, these scrapbooks revealed themselves. And so anyway, now they're mine. So I start running around with these scrapbooks going, someone's got to make a movie. Someone's got to make a movie. And then everyone's like, yeah, someone should make a movie. And then I'm like, I guess no one's going to make the fucking movie. I guess I'm going to have to make the movie.
So, okay. Wow.
And so now I've totally put myself in a corner and I have to make this movie.
So have you started?
Yeah, of course. I've been working on it for 2 years.
Wow. So how did you establish who you wanted to work with in bringing this forward?
So I have tried to be sensible and economical about it thus far. Essentially,
The way you said that, it's not sensible and it's not economical.
No, it has been, but it's not gonna. I mean, it can't stay that way. So
Yeah.
basically, what I
Not if
did
you're gonna
was
do it justice.
I hired a friend of mine who's in the industry, Bronwyn Cosgrave, has kindly connected me with some researchers. So I've had professional researchers going through like every archive all over the world, collecting material for me for a couple of years. I have also put together like a teaser trailer. So a local guy here, Robbie Lemieux, he's done this teaser for me. So it's about 8 minutes.
It's out now?
No, it's not out anywhere yet.
Oh, okay.
It's in the vault. But essentially that's what I'm
Oh.
going to use. I have to do fundraise.
Okay.
So now I have to get a cinematographer on board, fundraise,
All right. So if you're listening to this right now and you're in this industry,
and you got some Bitcoin
yeah, burning
burning a hole in your desktop.
then like, what are you fucking waiting for? Just connect with Colette, please.
Totally. It's an incredible. I mean, it is a little bit of a woman's story. Like, you have to remember she's starting a business. It's a huge story in our industry. And for sure, most people in the industry, especially Americans, they know who Elsie de Wolfe is. Like they know all about her. But, there's never been a movie made about her.
So I'm actually, is it, are you looking from the, I won't ask that question. I'm going to flip it. On the financing side, you couldn't go after some of the,
Yes, I am.
like ARIDO and like other, or an equivalent in the US.
Well, I'm talking to brands. So like
Okay.
DeGorne's already on board.
Okay. Sorry, I interrupted you as you were answering the question. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to. That's the only person on board.
No, okay, fair.
Because I haven't started having those meetings because I wanted to have the trailer done, which I just finished.
Right.
But there's definitely a lot of brands I think that are going to want to. I mean, I don't know if piggyback's a fair word, but
be involved.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, I guess where I go with it is if they become involved, do they want to change the course of the direction that you want to take it?
Well, I'm not doing that.
Right. Well, so
Because again, I'm not trying to put food on the table with this movie. I'm going to make the movie I want.
Yeah.
That's the joy of being.
I just referenced at the beginning of my day today in another meeting that the Entourage quote that like you have the passion project that's Medellin or you're doing Aquaman.
Right.
This is Medellin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for making that likening to Entourage. But I think it's so interesting that's something that you're going to go do in addition to what you're currently doing. It's such an interesting way to stay engaged in the work.
Yeah.
On both sides.
And with my tribe.
Yeah.
Who are like if you're not, look, I think one of the reasons like clients get so addicted to us is because they don't swim in creative waters. And like, I mostly swim in creative waters and like, we're fucking great. Like I love my tribe and tribe adjacent tribes.
Are you interviewing other people
of course,
in this that
of
are
course.
talking
So
about
I've
the influence?
already, this part of doing this teaser was sitting down with, I did math.
Okay. Are you going to say who?
Don't say name.
I don't know. I was just trying to create an allure or
Fine, let's keep the allure.
Right.
Yeah.
Or do you want to go there? I don't know. That's a you decision.
That's his wheelhouse.
No, I mean, she's so vital to so many people who are
Yeah.
familiar names today.
Yeah.
Everybody from Billy Baldwin to Martin Lawrence Thillart.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's much different. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I've been doing is doing a lot of talking heads footage, which
Yeah.
I know it's not necessarily, I don't know if it's the popular thing right now, but, according to my producer, we may try and limit the talking heads kind of aspect of it. But on the other hand, again, like in this industry, I guess, for example, your podcast, I mean, they're usually pretty fun people. Like I honestly, just the footage that I've been doing of I've obviously done masses of Nicky, like, so he was my guinea pig. So it's like, well, I bought a $3,000 camera. Nicky loves having a camera pointed at him. I can just do this all day and see if I get the sound right. And if I get what does the lighting look like? And I have to say, now that I've sort of been doing it for 2 years, like then I started learning what questions to ask. And then when we started putting the teaser together, it was like, oh, well, I need someone to say this. And so I
have so many ideas.
Great.
Yeah. I have so many ideas for how to make some of those shots so interesting and the engagement in those conversations of influence. Sorry, I don't know why my mind. That's where my mind starts going.
Well, because it's exciting.
Like, how do you do the blocking on this and setting up the camera angles and
you are doing content on this industry for a reason.
Yeah.
No one's really done documentaries about the people in this industry who. They're not just business people. They're often, they're involved in society and some of the great parties that have ever been thrown and, had the greatest, some of them even haven't used interior designers. They might have done their own houses, but, going back to John Richardson, I mean, that was one of the greatest interiors I've ever been in. He would have dreamed of having a decorator, because he was a natural aesthete. So I think I'm only going to do one movie, but someone should be doing more movies of these people. It's a very interesting.
Maybe I'll go there in a couple of years.
Maybe.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I want a commission. Do I get a trade discount?
Doesn't make money. Do I have money to give?
Oh, God.
Colette, thank you. This has been a ton of fun. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I know that I have. I didn't fall asleep. I was immersed the entire time.
Now we can all go have a big nap.
Right? Or we can do the shot that we talked about. Maybe doing.
That's not a bad idea either.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time away from your practice. Thanks for taking time away from family and taking time away from travel to sit with me in my backyard and walk through the white walls of my house.
Yeah, and to you. Thanks for helping us all look at our industry in new ways.
It was my pleasure.